Well, hello everyone, my name is Daniel Salinas and I will be guiding you through this PowerPoint presentation. Um, this is chapter 11, Service Level Management, Knowing What You Pay For. The motivation for service level agreement. First of all, let's start by defining what an SLA is. A service level agreement is a contract between a service provider, internal or external, and the end user that defines the level of service expected from this provider. It's more like a formal document describing the level of service a customer expects from a service. Their purpose is to define what the customer will be receiving. SLAs do not define how the service itself is provided or delivered, but for example, an IT help desk can use SLA with other departments to define their performance. Let's identify service level parameters. An SLA is intended to specify performance, expectations, responsibilities, and metrics. It ensures all parties have the same understanding and improves each party the ability to reach intended goals. Note here that if you are not able to measure that service, then it will be very difficult to hold parties accountable. Here, significance means that it must be significant for the service that is being defined. They must matter for the service. SLAs relate directly to the service experience. For example, remember that a description of the service being provided includes maintenance of the area such as network connectivity, domain name servers, and DHCP servers. The SLA relevance means that this SLA must be relevant to the context in which the service will be used. For example, in the field of security, relevant work is using the approach to analyze and refine an individual control into one of many security service level objectives, which are then associated with metrics and measurement that can be either quantitative or qualitative. For example, resilience, business continuity, and disaster recovery are important aspects of security. Specific controls and measures are usually put in place by commerce service providers, but no SLO has been resulting for the security aspects. Regarding SLA measurability, remember that measurements should state how the metrics are going to be monitored, reported, and evaluated. And note here is that you need to choose measurements that are easily collected. Avoid choosing an excessive number of metrics or metrics that produce a voluminous amount of data that no one will have time to analyze. Measuring SLA performance properly really needs software. Otherwise, you will spend a lot of time calculating uptimes and resolution times. The definition of a service level objective. You need to determine which service level parameters and which service level objectives are really critical to your needs. You need to be as specific as you can be when defining business level parameters and be realistic. A service level objective or SLO is a key element of a service level agreement or SLA between a service provider and a customer. SLOs are agreed as a means of measuring the performance of the service provider and are outlined as a way of avoiding disputes between the two parties based on misunderstanding. Tracking service level objectives. Make sure you are clear about where parameters are measured. You have to be clear about how parameters are measured, and make sure that measurements are statistically relevant. Also remember to specify who measures and how measurements can be verified, because service level objectives are measurements to ensure that you are meeting defined service level commitments. In Operations Manager, you define a service level objective, the set of monitors that you need to track, such as performance or availability, and then run reports against that service level objectives to ensure that you are meeting your goals. Dealing with service level violations. What are the three things you want to do after the violation? Is restore the agreed to service level, make up for service level that was not delivered, and reconsider sometimes the future business relationship and possibilities for bailout. Because the SLA must also contain a set of penalty clauses specifying what happens when service providers fail to deliver the pre-agreed quality. Sometimes monetary penalties initially seem the most sensible approach towards contractual penalties. However, using monetary penalties suffers from the requirement of a payment system. These penalties may include a percentage of a monthly recurring fee, sometimes liquidated damage, or worst case scenario, a contract termination due to recurring or very severe issues. Managing for a service level, the service needs to be set up, and when the service is operational, must also be constantly monitored to ensure that services level objectives that were promised are being met. And also remember that statistical data must be collected as proof that the agreed to service level is being delivered. Basically, SLAs are intended to ensure that the provider understands what they are supposed to deliver, the customer knows what to expect, and also both can see what is actually being delivered. Metrics and key performance indicators are a core element of an SLA. The book I use as a reference, everybody's familiar with Network Management Fundamentals, a guide to understanding how network management technology really works, and that's a Cisco book. Well, this concludes the presentation regarding SLAs in Network Management Fundamentals. This is my email. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and have a nice day.